Check this out, y'all. Shout out to everybody that needs a change. Yeah.
And we are the people who can do this. It's time to make a change. And we are the people who can do this. Yeah, the time is now. We gotta make change. So many things in this world rearranged, but we the people, we can stand up, make change. Break the cycle, flip the script, and let's just change. Change how we educate and teach our youth right. Change how we treat each other, shine more light. Change what we eat, stop filling up on fast food. Fill your body with love, build a new mood. Change the faith we put in celebrity fame. Put more faith in each other, that would change the game. Change how we see clothing, the name on the tag. Don't matter if it's Gucci or just a plain rag. Change how we love so our kids won't feel pain. More involved in their lives puts us in the right lane. If we all stand together, ain't nothing that's too strange. We got the power, we the people, so let's make change. Time to make a change. And we are the people. Listen, change how we argue, turn fights into peace. Change how we hustle, let the violence decrease. Change the way we see skin, it's just a tone. We all one family with the earth as our home. Change our priorities, give love more weight. Change our directions before it's too late. Change our reflection when we look in the glass. Stop blaming everybody, time to check our own past. Change how we spend, let's invest in our minds. Change how we grind, leave no one behind. Change our faith, not in idols or fame, but in unity and truth, and that's a powerful change. Change our tomorrows by the moves that we make. Change the excuses, it's our world to shape. If we don't change now, then we stay the same. But if we ride together, we can flip the whole game. This needs to change, that needs to change. Our actions need to change. Our laws need to change. Our minds need to change. Our hearts need to change. Even our change need to change. Yeah, our change need to change. It's time to make a change. And we are the people who can do this. It's time to make a change. And we are the people who can do this.
I can hear. I had a female singer over here. Now, it was short. It's too short, and I can hear where I cut it out at the end. What's up, YouTube? This is the Music Recording Network stream. We trying to wake up our new channel, our other channel, the Music Recording Network, our stream channel. Man, y'all go over there and subscribe. Our live channel. I'm telling y'all to go to the stream channel and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Check this out. Diddy trial, Sean Combs sentenced to 50 months in prison. Now, everybody who been hurt, I dedicate that song to. It's time to make a change, because once you have been hurt and you tell somebody you've been hurt and nothing happens, you be hurt again and again, and you keep telling people. And the person that's doing the hurting, once you tell on them, they're going to hurt you again for telling. So now you got two hurts. You know what I'm saying? So you learn to keep your mouth shut. I'd rather get beat up once than twice. I mean, that ain't rocket science. So this Diddy thing, man, is a nice blow for everybody. I know one thing, if that video wasn't leaked of her being abused so bad by Diddy, that changed so many people's perspective on Diddy, period. I don't care what you say, the judge, the jury, the people, everybody. It was no doubt in anybody's mind that he is capable of doing the things that people was talking about. Cookie, hey Cookie, you can go upstairs, Cookie. Cookie talking about my shirt. Thank you. She said she loved my shirt. Thank you so much, man. Don't forget we live, the Music Recording Network live. Shout out to everybody who supports the Music Recording Network, because we are out here helping people. And we're going, this whole summer that's coming up, man, we about to step out and do some things. I feel good. I've been drinking my water and my Vita Bright. If you're old enough, you'll know what that is. So I'm asking people to support me, man. Support all 4 of our channels. We actually got 5, but we ain't gonna talk about the YouTube growth system. We are actually putting together a channel to teach people how to do this YouTube thing. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and let's check it out. This right here is a good breakdown right here.
Hi there, everybody. I'm Deborah Roberts, and thank you so much for being with us and streaming with us. Tonight on Burden of Proof, the case against Diddy, a judge sentencing Sean Combs to 4 years and 2 months in prison after the hip-hop mogul begged for mercy, essentially, in court. Right before the judge's decision, the 55-year-old stood before the court saying he had been stripped down to nothing, that he has nobody to blame but himself. Combs was convicted, you may remember, in July on the lesser prostitution-related charges in his sex trafficking and racketeering trial. Now, during the court today, he specifically addressed that hotel surveillance video so many people have seen where he's assaulting then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, apologizing to her today directly, calling that video disgusting and despicable. The judge in the case also took into consideration a letter from the prosecution's star witness, Cassie.
You know what, man? Come to think about it, I never noticed this in this video, and I hate to keep playing it over and over again, but he surprised her, unless she heard, because she never turned around and she got that hoodie on, she can't see behind her, you know, so.
That hotel surveillance video so many people have seen where he's assaulting then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, apologizing to her today directly, calling that video disgusting and despicable. The judge in the case also took into consideration a letter from the prosecution's star witness, Cassie Ventura, who wrote that she still has nightmares about what she calls the most traumatic and horrifying chapter in her life. Ventura also saying that she fears swift retribution if Combs walks free, so much so that she moved her family out of the New York area. There is so much to this case, so much to break down. And joining us later for a reaction is a former makeup artist to Cassie Ventura who testified against Combs. And we're also going to have a prison consultant who has worked with high-profile inmates on how he preps clients for time in federal prison. And we'll ask him to weigh in on that business class that Combs has been teaching behind bars. Lots to talk about today, but we're going to begin first with ABC News Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katursky. He's been on this trial from the very beginning in the courtroom and certainly was there today throughout. He joins us live outside the federal courthouse in Manhattan. Aaron, Sean Combs was sentenced to 50 months, just over 4 years. What was that moment like for him in court? What was his reaction when he heard that?
Now, y'all got to remember, man, right before he speaks, you have to remember what he was sentenced for. The charges that Diddy was sentenced for, I think the maximum people was getting is like 5 to 8 months. So 4 years, people are like, I wanted him to get more than that. I wanted him to get more than that. Yeah, I wanted him to get more than that too. But the judge had to be not ridiculous. You know, a lot of people just looking at their own feelings. You know, I've been hurt, I've been abused. There's a lot of people out here in this world that have been abused, man, and I didn't even realize that. So you got to keep in mind, man, 4 years for the 2 counts he got found guilty for. I wish they would have got him on some type of RICO. Maybe they're going to come back on it. Here we go.
Correspondent Aaron Katursky. He's been on this trial from the very beginning in the courtroom and certainly was there today throughout. He joins us live outside the federal courthouse in Manhattan. Aaron, Sean Combs was sentenced to 50 months, just over 4 years. What was that moment like for him in court? What was his reaction when he heard that?
Deb, Sean Combs was expressionless. He was sitting on his hands as the judge imposed the sentence, telling him that his lifetime of good works could not erase the conduct that we all plainly saw as he was violent with Cassie Ventura and others. And the judge said he wanted to send a message with his sentence that violence against women will be taken seriously. As the courtroom cleared out, though, Combs turned to his family. He said, "I'm sorry. I love you." I was here at court during an earlier hearing when Combs seemed to expect that he might get incarcerated for this, even though he asked for release under time served. And he told his family at that time last week, Deb, that whatever happens, I'll deal with it. And his family had been tearful. Each of his 6 children telling the judge, crowding around a podium, taking turns, that they needed their father home. They begged for his release so that the family could rebuild. But the judge said there is a light at the end of the tunnel for the Combs family, that they can reunite, that he can become the kind of person he told the court he wants to be for his family, for his community, but just not yet. First, he must serve that time in prison.
Right. And an emotional reaction, not only just from his family, but even one of his lawyers was fairly emotional. Aaron, earlier in the hearing, he asked to show a produced video of his life achievements that obviously was probably meant to sway the judge, to help him see him as a human being, a father. How did that play in court?
It was a documentary-style video with a moody soundtrack, and it showed Sean Combs as a doting father, playing with his children, as a philanthropist, running the New York City Marathon and doing other charitable works, mourning Kim Porter. And many of his attorneys said losing loved ones. His father was murdered, Kim Porter got sick and died, had a profound impact on Sean Combs. Not to excuse his behavior, but to try and explain that this is someone with clear psychological problems who needs not more time behind bars, but who needs professional help. And his attorneys said that jail or prison would not rehabilitate Sean Combs, that he needs professional therapy outside of prison.
Right. What about now, Aaron? What next? I mean, there are some who are going to say this was very lenient, and I'm sure for Sean Combs, this was more than he was expecting. What's next for him?
In the last 10 minutes or so.
He's going to return to MDC in Brooklyn, and the Bureau of Prisons will decide where he should ultimately spend his 4-year prison term. And his attorneys say they may well appeal to try and get that sentence reduced. Combs has already been in jail a year. He'll get credit for time served. He must also pay a $500,000 fine imposed by the judge. That's the largest allowed. This was going to be justice either way in some ways, Deb. Either he didn't do anything terribly wrong. He was acquitted of his most serious crimes that he was charged with, and he could have gotten off with time served, and that would have been justice for Combs. But the judge saw it differently, that he needed to be held accountable for the violence that he committed.
So many reactions here. Aaron?
Bullshit. Bullshit.
I gotta call it when I see it.
Justice either way in some ways.
Watch
Deb.
this.
Either he didn't do anything terribly wrong. He was acquitted of his most serious crimes that he
didn't do anything terribly wrong.
Bullshit.
Charged with, and he could have gotten off with time served, and that would have been justice for Combs.
Bullshit.
If he would have gotten off with time served, a lot of people who have been abused would have been so hurt that Diddy is getting out of jail. No way in the world. No way in the world.
But the judge saw it differently, that he needed to be held accountable for the violence that he committed.
So many reactions here. Aaron Katursky, thank you, as always. And a lot of reactions to this decision today, including from Cassie Ventura, who had testified in this case. In a statement from her attorney, she said, while nothing can undo the trauma caused by Combs, the sentence imposed today recognizes the impact of the serious offenses he committed. Milo Morales, who is Cassie Ventura's former makeup artist, was also called to the stand by prosecutors, and she testified about a 2010 incident when Combs allegedly assaulted Cassie in their hotel suite. Well, Combs' lawyers highlighted on cross-examination that Morales did not directly see the assault and showed the jury these exhibits of Cassie with makeup done by Morales. She clearly had a lot to think about in this case. And joining me now is Mila Morales. Mila, thank you so much for being with us during what I'm sure is a very emotional day for you. What are your...
Now, she did one news report before the case started. And she was saying that if they call her to testify, she will have to. She stood there after the beatings and saw those bruises on Cassie's face. And her job as a makeup person was to put the makeup on so perfect that it'll cover up the bruises on her face. And they got pictures and stuff of her covering up these bruises. That's terrible. Yeah, you had to
at this moment after hearing the sentence.
Well, it's been a very, very stressful year for me just watching this all play out. And I really don't know what to think or feel about it. I'm just really disappointed as to, I've known for 25 years and we're here and he's going to jail. I just feel so much. It's just a very sad day.
Mila, he spoke.
She biting her words like a champ. They scared of Diddy, man. She is biting her words like a champ. She was there, y'all. She was there. She's seen them bruises.
Years and we're here and he's going to jail. I just feel so much. It's just a very sad day.
It's a sad
Mila,
day.
he spoke out for the first time today. He did not speak during the trial, but today Combs tearfully apologized to Cassie, saying that he was broken to his core. He also said he was apologizing to other victims of domestic violence, taking responsibility for his actions, really talking about himself and how he felt that he was responsible. Nobody to blame but him. What do you think about his statement in court?
Well, I don't always believe what Sean would say. I hope he's...
I don't always believe what Sean says. Yep, that's crazy.
What do you think about his statement in court?
Well, I don't always believe what Sean would say. I hope he's remorseful. I hope he's apologetic. And like I said, I don't know where we are right now in this place.
And there's more to come, we know, because this case will continue on and there are going to be civil suits. You've been part of this high-profile case. This is a man who was accused of great violence, intimidation. This clearly has not been easy for you, and to be a part of this trial and to testify. Many people talked about being fearful. How has this impacted your life?
It has impacted my life because I've known Sean for 25 years and I've known Cassie since she was a teenager. And I used to travel the world with Kim Porter and Sean. And, I just think that a man with so much power, I wish that he would have done something better with it.
Amen.
Rather than here
Something
we are
better.
seeing him in court. Like I said, 25 years later, it's just a sad
difficult
story.
Time.
It's really difficult, yeah.
And you faced him in the courtroom, too. Tell me a little bit about the sentencing today. I mean, I'm sure that there are plenty of people who feel maybe it's an insult to some women, in this case, particularly Cassie. Does it close a chapter for you, or what are your feelings about the finality of today?
I feel like it does close a chapter for me. However, I just feel very defeated, and I feel defeated for the victims that he's damaged so many lives. And I hope, like I said, I hope he's remorseful and I hope he is sorry for what he's done to these people because this is going to impact the rest of their lives.
He's only sorry he got caught.
Well, it clearly has impacted yours and so many others. And we wish you the best and hope that, as you said, that maybe you can sort of move forward. Milo Morales, thank you so much for being with us today. Really appreciate it. Well, now that Sean Combs has been sentenced, the big question is what comes next? He's been in custody in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center since September of 2024. And now, of course, he's sentenced to 4 years and 2 months in prison. Well, joining me now is Sam Mangle, a federal prison consultant who has worked with high-profile names from Steve Bannon to Peter Navarro, Sam Bankman-Fried. And we should note that he was not involved in this case, but we'll have some insight into what this is all about. Sam, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, Deborah.
You've consulted other high-profile cases, as we say. What do you begin to advise? I mean, Sean Combs has already been in jail for a year, but now he's going to federal prison. How do you begin to advise a client like him about what to prepare for?
I always tell clients, whether a politician, an actor, a billionaire client, or the run-of-the-mill businessman or doctor I deal with, it doesn't sink in until the judge reads the statement, "You are hereby remanded to the custody of the Bureau of Prisons for X number of months."
Okay.
And at that point, I explain that at least most of my clients serve about 30% of that time in custody. It's a lot different for Sean Combs because due to the nature of his charge, he is not eligible for any time off of his sentence other than the 15% good time credit that's given to every inmate.
Now, on this live stream we just did, this guy's a judge. He looks very credible. Seems like he know what he's talking about. He's been in the system and doing stuff. Then you got this whack 100. Talking about something. Well, he gonna get time with this. He gonna be home. He'll be home by the first of the year. No, he said he'd be home by New Year's. And that was it. And I'm like,
Bullshit.
Anyway, first of all, you just pushing for clicks and views. But long story short, he was sentenced for 4 years and 2 months. I'd take one of them years off. He was sentenced for 3 years. He already did 1. So the feds got 2 more years. And everybody else got 2 more years to come up with something while he's doing his time. And people, let me tell y'all something, man. For where he was at, serving 2 years in jail, that's hard. That's very hard. For all his life, he just did every and anything he wanted and got whatever he wanted. Now all of a sudden, you in fed time for 2 years. 2 years longer. He already did 1 year. You got to think about that, man. That's a hard punishment right there. And they're going to be watching you. Yeah, you go ahead and try to do something to somebody else. We're waiting to see this.
Between that and the time served, he's going to roughly be in custody for about 24 months before he's eligible for home confinement. So what I would tell him, and he's been in custody now for the past year, so he's very familiar with the Bureau of Prisons, he's going to be going to a much lighter security facility. He'll be going to a low security facility where he's going to be allowed outside from 6 a.m. to 9 o'clock at night, where he's going to be, typically not in a cell, but in dormitory style housing and much greater freedom. But depending upon where he goes, and I had the opportunity to work with the mother of 2 of his children a few years ago, and I spoke to her a few weeks ago specifically about where he's going. And where he goes will really dictate how he needs to assimilate and what type of programming might be available to him, really to keep him busy and make him more productive.
Yeah, and very quickly before I let you go, he was busy while he was in the jail awaiting trial. He taught a 6-week educational class. Very quickly, is that something that might impact the way he goes forward and maybe his release?
It won't affect his release because of the nature of his sentence. However, it will certainly keep him much more productive and occupy his time. And if he's able to teach other inmates, because inmates do teach other inmates in classes, he'll be held in a much higher regard from the case managers. Yeah. But again, due to the nature of his charge, there's really very little that he can do to affect when he will be released.
Well, a lot of folks will be following this, Sam. We really appreciate your insight. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Well, still ahead, from a witness backing out of her victim impact statement to the legal troubles still ahead for Combs, our legal team is here now to help us break it all down. And radio powerhouse personality Angela Yee is joining us to talk about what this case means to hip-hop, the stain it leaves behind, and if the self-proclaimed bad boy can bounce back after prison time. Stay with us.
Can he bounce back after prison time? He got to stay in the background a little more. He can't be dancing on the stage and stuff, I don't think. Too old for that anyway. I'm trying to see what
Welcome
his kids
back, everybody,
doing.
and thanks so much for streaming with us. So the defense asked for no more than 14 months, and the prosecution had hoped to get 11 years for Sean Combs, but ultimately the judge handing down a 50-month sentence in prison. Well, we want to break down what exactly happened in court. ABC's legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer, who's a practicing defense lawyer, is with us to weigh in on the defense strategy, and Bernarda Villalona analyzing the prosecution side of things. So happy you both are here.
Okay.
Wow. We've been talking about this behind the scenes. We were waiting. This went on a very long time today. Bernarda, let me start with you.
Sorry.
The big question is, who was the winner here? I mean, if there was a winner, Sean Combs was clearly surprised, but the prosecution must have been disappointed.
Oh, absolutely. Today was definitely Judgment Day. So in terms of what happened today, you know, the judge definitely set out and told Sean Diddy Combs he's a bad boy for life. Ultimately, I think he still won. Sean Combs won because the prosecution did request those 11 years, and that's what they were asking for.
But they didn't get close to that.
I thought it was egregious, though, in terms of requesting the 11 years. But let's think about those 50 months. What those 50 months actually say. It still holds Sean Combs accountable for his actions. So it's still giving deterrence. It's still showing the seriousness of the crime. It's still protecting the public from Sean Combs, and it's still giving a voice to the voiceless. So while the prosecution, yes, they're upset, but it also have to look at it that, look, the conviction and the sentence shows that no matter how much money you have or how much power you have or whether you had the key to the city, that you can also be held accountable for your actions.
Yeah.
And that's what we heard today.
That is what we heard. Brian, you mentioned all of these different acts that they actually talked about, that Sean had done good works and so forth, and the judge made it very clear that's not enough to erase the record.
Hit them thumbs up as y'all come into the live stream. Appreciate y'all.
Brian,
check us out.
They did a lot today. All his 6 children testified. There was a video of Sean Combs showing him to be a really good father and all of that. Did that make a difference, you think, with the judge?
I think absolutely. And
I don't, man, come on. If you got kids, you should be good. Period. If you are on this earth, you should be good. So being rewarded because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're supposed to do these things with your kids and your family, and they gonna reward them? That's bull.
Bullshit.
I think, Bernarda, see if you agree with me on this one. When we have cases in the Southern District of New York, the judge looks at that recommendation from probation, and it's almost gospel. The judge says, hey, probation is the neutral arbiter here. They're saying 70 to 87 months. I understand the defense wants 14 months. You want him to walk out once he gets back to MDC. And the prosecution is asking for over 11 years. But to go 20 months below the probation guidelines, that, I think there's going to be a very serious conversation with Sean Combs and say, I know this feels bad. I know 50 months sounds like a lot, but when we met you, when we started opening statements,
they were facing life.
Looking at life. When you were convicted, we beat the top counts. When we got the probation report, you were looking at 6 to 7 years. Now you got 50 months, minus the 13, plus good time. He might be out in less than 3 years-ish. Depending on how good he can be while incarcerated, maybe keep doing those programs. A 3-year sentence afterwards, that's a win.
But it was a win. It was a win for the defense. You got to think, there was some crying that was taking place, but I think what the judge wanted to say was cry me a river. So yes, I understand that you're a father and your kids love you and you've done great work. But hey, guess what? I watched this entire trial. I saw how Jane testified. I saw how Cassie testified. I saw how Cassie mentioned these dear and sad and emotional and traumatic moments that she had with all these different escorts in terms of drugs and alcohol. And he made sure, the judge, to emphasize this when he handed out his sentence, that we can't forget that yes, you've done a life of good work, but it doesn't change what you were doing behind closed doors.
Did the prosecution blow it for these victims? I mean, Cassie.
And you playing with your kids, you doing all this stuff as a family man, like a mafia movie. These people are real good with their family, and then you go take a cocktail and put it in Kid Cudi's car. Oh, but he wasn't found guilty of that.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Cassie and all them other people know what you did. We're talking about what you did that he know about. We ain't talking about what you did that they couldn't prove. That's bull. Shame on you, Diddy. Somebody that got millions and millions of dollars and you doing stupid stuff like this? Oh my God, I didn't know. And now that I know, I don't want that. I don't want that in my life. Nah, I'd rather be struggling and helping people. And everybody when people see me, I want them to see no fear. But if you do wrong to somebody else, you better fear me. That's it. I don't understand nothing else.
You can't be really happy right now.
Well, the prosecution only has so much control, because after the verdict is in, you've lost your mandatory minimum when the jury found Sean Combs not guilty of racketeering conspiracy. Because had he been found guilty of racketeering conspiracy, we would have been talking about at least 20 years across the board, and Jesus wouldn't have been able to help you on that one. So they didn't blow it.
Okay, Brian.
I would say that they did blow it in two occasions. One, in overreaching in terms of the charges that they put against Sean Combs when it clearly didn't have the information for it. And I think also asking for 11 years as well just kind of made the judge says, that's not a realistic number. I think if the prosecution came and said, you know what, the government, probation is asking for 70 to 87, and they came and just said, you know what, give him 95.
Right.
Just give him, it would have been much more of a reasonable request, and I think they would have got much higher overall. So I think overreaching hurt them twice here.
I think a lot of folks are going to be debating this today. We could go on, but Bernarda and Brian, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. All right, well, coming up, a popular radio host who knows the hip-hop scene very well. She's going to talk to us about the cultural impact and what this sentencing means for the pop culture atmosphere. Angela Yee is going to be here. She's going to join me live, so don't go anywhere.
Nothing. It don't mean nothing for the pop culture. When at the pop, I'm thinking of hip-hop. Oh, my gracious, man. God dang, man.
Most influential, wealthy figures, known for his work as a rapper, record producer, executive, building a vast business empire spanning from music into fashion, liquor, even a TV network. But what does this mean now that his criminal trial is over and he's been sentenced? What does it mean for Combs as the world once knew him? Well, let's bring in radio host Angela Yee. Angela, thank you for being here. You have been in this world surrounded by so many different people and come across Sean Combs over the years. We know that he was a powerful figure. It was acknowledged in court. What is this going to mean now in the community? What do you think people are saying?
Well, Diddy was always the epitome of what it means to make it in the music business. The most successful, always on the top list when it comes to the most powerful entrepreneurs. So I think now he's going to have to redefine what that is. I know we're looking to see what he's going to do when he finally gets released. I know he did not anticipate this happening. You can tell he had already set up some dates for things that he was going to do next week in Miami.
They said to teach and not to, do anything else, but that's what they
And he's been teaching behind bars, too.
That was embarrassing. Right there, that was a slap in the face for the judge. Oh, yeah, I got some appointments in Miami, so can we hurry this thing up? That's basically what you're saying. Yeah, because I know you're going to let me out, you know what I'm saying? I done did it 14 years for you, bruh. I'm trying to get out, you know what I'm saying? I got speaking engagements to do. That was a slap in his face, man. I sat right here and seen what you did to these people.
And the judge even said, look, I hope you'll continue that work that you've been doing. So now it's going to be a full pivot. And I think he already was trying to make that pivot with the Brother Love and everything that he had reinvented himself with. And so I feel like he was already making that change because maybe he knew there's things from his past that he had to kind of account for.
Well, as I said, you had sort of been in his orbit over the years. You made it clear, never really good friends, but you had a popular radio show that was The Breakfast Club, which was on Diddy's network, Revolt TV. Give us a sense of what that was like in that world, because there were so many people who rubbed shoulders with him.
Yeah, I think everybody looked up to Diddy. I mean, he was the person that was like the keynote speaker at this. He was the one that was like, okay, if you want to do a deal, if you want to make some money, that's the person you need to get next to. And so, when it comes to clothing lines, when it comes to having his own network, we all were like, wow, this is amazing. Look at what this black man is doing. And so now it's kind of like the blinds have been opened up and now we can see what was really going. But I also feel like there were always whispers of what was really happening. We've heard about the quote unquote freak offs and what happens at the parties after the actual birthday party, what happens afterward, after hours.
And it exposed a lot of people to a world they didn't know about. You've described it, the hip hop world back then, as sort of the wild, wild west.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Ooh, I think that a lot of times bad behavior was kind of par for the course. I mean, there's times when I first started in this music business, they told me I had to have tough skin. They told me there were going to be things that were happening that you have to learn how to be like a big girl and be okay with it. Even how people speak to you, how people treat you, being a woman in the business, getting harassed was kind of like just part of what it was. And now I think, and I think this is fortunate that people have to be a lot more careful about how they talk to you, how they treat you, and what they do, because there has to be some type of accountability.
Things have changed for sure. Well, what about bouncing back from all of this? I mean, we've heard that Diddy has been teaching a course while he was in jail. Maybe he'll continue to in prison. He may only do another 2.5 or 3 years and then he comes out. Can he bounce back in some ways to reclaim where he was?
Listen, the way that Diddy is, I'm sure he's already planning what's next. Like knowing him, and I think the way the landscape has changed, you don't need to have like a major network deal. You don't need to have a major label deal. There's a lot of things that people can do independently. And as we can see, people were already booking him to come and teach, so to speak, when he got out. So I can see already people are like free Diddy. Some people feel like he didn't get enough time, but I do feel like there's going to be people and there's going to be ways that he can monetize things, telling his own story, telling his own redemption, and not have to do a major corporation deal.
That's what I was thinking. If there's a movie, he will probably be involved in that production.
A documentary, him talking about how he's changed. I mean, even seeing like that video they put together in court to show his family and everybody coming together to support him. He's a master marketer. Yeah. And so he's managed to reinvent himself time and time again.
And he probably will again. Angela Yee, always great seeing you.
Good to see you too.
Okay, thanks so much for being here. Well, thank you for joining us. And for more news, context, and analysis.
Man, she could have kept her little 2 cents. She ain't even spread nothing, no love on the whole situation, man. It's crazy, man. There's a lot of Diddy lovers out there, man. Diddy lovers. Yeah, I'm gonna call them that. Diddy lovers. And I just wanted to share a little bit of this. He been on for a whole hour, and I can't give him a thumbs up. Is this what I wanted to show? I think this. Check this out, y'all. I want y'all to just see this. If you're mad that Diddy didn't get the time that you wanted him to get 11 years, 12 years, life, and all that stuff. You got to take into account that the people that Diddy lovers are, they thought he was going to walk. I can't wait to see other people. I haven't went to their channels and stuff yet, but check this out real quick.
Man who was acquitted.
Okay, he is breaking it all the way down. Like, how dare them? Let me see.
He needed vindication. Why did not Cassie and Jane Doe show up and represent themselves?
Watch this, y'all. Oh my God.
At the sentencing and ask for more time for Puff? Why did the judge feel the need to do that? Check Sean G out. Check me out.
Oh my
Check
God.
him up there. Abs is locked in too.
Oh my God.
A Southern District of New York judge gave a first offender, a man who was acquitted of 3 very serious charges, which would have landed him life in prison.
Should be lucky for that.
A jury acquitted him of those charges. And he was left with 2 charges, Mann Act charges or prostitution, which are considered misdemeanors in state cases. Some states don't even prosecute them.
Okay.
And gave the first offense, no criminal history, no infractions at MDC Brooklyn, already served 12 and a half months, denied bail, yet still on very weak Mann Act prostitution charges, gave him an upward departure of 9 levels, enhanced him 9 levels, and did an upward departure, going against what he asked for.
Okay.
His word, Judge Submarinian, you lied, Judge Submarinian. Your word is some shit. You a liar. Because in your order dated July the 9th, 2025, you asked for USC 18-2421, criminal history category 1, sentencing guideline range 2G1.1, subsection 1, subsection A, which is a base offense level of 14. You asked for that. If you wanted to add the coercion, which according to Mark Agnifilo, you mentioned 7, 8, 9, 10 times in your little soliloquy.
Oh my God.
It should have been enhanced in your letter to a USC 18-2422 with the enhancement for the coercion. But you didn't ask for that. You went against your own word. You went against your own word. You went against your own word.
Where you going, cousin? Where you going?
Never before.
Okay, here we go. Right here. Never before.
In the history. Well, let me not say that. Let me not get into saying things I have no proof. But it is an aberration. It's a standard deviation. 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 standard deviation for a judge to do an upward departure 9 levels on a first offender with a criminal history category of 0. I'm just telling you what it is. And I got the transcript. I got the transcript at the crib. I ain't ready yet.
See, a lot of people see things only one way. He don't understand that these cases and these people that got 5 years, that have maybe 8, I think it was another case that had 8 years. I mean, 5 months, 8 months, these months for the same crime that Diddy did. But they didn't have the violence. It didn't go on for so long. And Diddy did it on a larger scale. He don't understand that. What make it so bad is Diddy had gun. They done gave Diddy all the daggone breaks, my guy. Diddy got all the breaks he can get. He still got a break, man. 4 years, you already been in jail. He been denied bail over and over again. That's a punishment. That's a punishment. I'm trying to get out. I'm gonna go home. I'm not going nowhere. Yeah, whatever. You got that part right. You ain't going nowhere. But he don't realize that the violence that was involved in this thing and some of the things they almost caught him on. I have another business where I do New York City tours. If you come into New York. Oh my God. Okay. That's enough, man. That's enough. Look here, I'm gonna get on up out of here. Hey, y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.